Hello students, today I am explaining important problem in Unit 4. Here our question is what? The mean life of a sample of 10 electric bulbs was found to be 1456 hours with SD of 423 hours. A second sample of 17 bulbs chosen from a different batch showed a mean life of 1280 hours with SD of 398 hours. Is there a significant difference between the means of two batches? They are asking. Okay, here given what? Two samples. Okay, and here in first sample 10 electric bulbs are there, that means n1 value is 10. In second sample 17 bulbs, that means n2 value is 17. First sample mean is what? 1456, that means x1 value. Okay, and here x2 bar value is 1280, this is second sample. Okay, in first sample standard deviation is 423, that means sigma 1, and in the second sample SD is 398, sigma 2. All information I written. Okay, so what they are asking, is there any significant difference between the means of two batches? So we need to check is there any significant difference between two batches or not. I am taking there is no significant difference between the two means of batches. That is what? Null hypothesis. H not equal to mu1 equal to mu2. Okay. So, next alternative hypothesis means we need to take opposite, mu1 not equal to mu2. So not equal to means we can get two-tailed. The two sides we get the critical region, that's why this is what? Two-tailed. Okay, so next after a level of what? Null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis, next we need to write level of significance. In the question they did not given level of significance, that's why we can take standard level 0.05, that means 5%. Okay, after level of significance, that means null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis, level of significance, when we can go to what? Calculated value. So based on the based on the problem, we can use the different formulas. Here question is what? About two samples, and in the question standard deviation of a population also we know, that's why we can go to Z test. Okay, in unit 5 I said what? Samples are what? Small samples, and if you don't know standard deviation of a population, then we can go to T test, F test, all remaining. But here we know standard deviation, so sample is small, what? A small sample only, but standard deviation is we know. Okay, that's why we are not going to T test, we are going to Z test. In Z test also we have formulas for single mean, for single sample if they given one formula. If you want to compare two means of a two samples is one formula. This formula is what? They given two samples, we need to compare the means of two samples. That's why we are taken this formula, Z calculated value equal to x1 bar minus x2 bar under root of sigma 1 square by n1 plus sigma 2 square by n2. So we know all values, substitute all values. Here I written all values. So x1 bar value is 1456, x2 bar is minus 1280, and x1 bar value is over sigma 1 value is what? 423 square. Next here sigma 2 square means 398 whole square. Here n1 value and here n2 value. After substituting all values, calculate this value in calculator, we get like this. Okay, 1.067. so this is what? Z calculated value. So null hypothesis over alternative hypothesis. Afterwards, so we need to write level of significance. Afterwards, we need to find out the calculated value. Based on the question, this formula will differ. Here question is what? We need to compare two means two means of a batches. So that two year standard deviation of a population is given. That's why we are not going to T test. We are going to Z test. In Z test, we have formula for two samples. If you want to compare two means, we have this formula. So write this formula and substitute all values, we get the Z calculated value is this one. After calculated value, next we need to write the table value. Table value is what? 1.96. Okay, Z calculated value is less than Z table value. So that less than means we need to accept the null hypothesis. That means there is no significant difference between means of the two batches. What I written? mu1 equal to mu2. That means almost the means of two batches are equal. Okay, now table value we can check in table. Okay, so here over. Bye.